Typically, once an athlete is diagnosed with a concussion, they rarely return to play on game day. We go through a whole process where we do impact testing afterwards, etc. So once they're diagnosed, they're pulled from the game, and then we give it over to our team physicians to finally make that final return to play decision. The first thing that we do once we've diagnosed a concussion is we'll put them on what we call impact testing, which is a computer-based. All student athletes have to be tested. They get a baseline. So then once we've diagnosed them as having a concussion, we put them back on there to compare the results. Once there's a deficit, we continue to monitor them. Usually every 2 to 3 days we put them back on to see if there's a return to the baseline levels. Once that's achieved, then we go on and we do our return to play criteria, which is we'll run them on the around the track for a mile, see if any of their symptoms return. If they do, then that's, again, we stop there. They have to be asymptomatic. So once they do some activity, we check them 24 hours after, see if there's any return to symptoms, headaches, nausea, etc. If there's not, we progress. We add by 25% increments. So if we've done a mile, it'll be 2 miles, 3 miles until a return to play decision has been made. Before we had the computer-based testing, a lot of things were very subjective. You had to guess an athlete's personality and try to do your best. Now we have a cognitive test that tests memory, reaction time, etc. So having that baseline for every student athlete is critical for us, no matter the sport. It doesn't based on sport. We do it for every student athlete. It is changing, but it's not changing quick enough. I think especially in certain sports like football, it's that old adage of getting your bell rung, and they don't understand there's consequences. We're seeing it more and more as the stories come out of those who have had them and the effects of them, but these are still 18, 19-year-old kids who think that they're invincible. Their parents are the ones who are more aware of it, not necessarily the student athletes themselves, and they're the ones pushing more and more for the legislations to go through, etc. But the athletes themselves, they're more aware, but it always doesn't apply to them. So it's still that battle of trying to get them to realize, no, that does apply to you, you do have a concussion.